Good afternoon, grinders. This is your MLB SimLabs analysis for Friday, May 30th. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka BlenderHD. If you want to follow me on Twitter, hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. Grinders live later today, 5 p.m. Eastern, followed by Crunch Time with Kevin Roth giving you that weather update. And I'm not even sure if we need it today. Obviously, this Philadelphia game is not on the slate. That's yellow-orange. The White Sox-Orioles game was actually moved to earlier today, so it's not on the slate anymore. We got 13 games, a lot to choose from. The Mets game probably goes, lowest chance of a delay from the early update from Roth. And Angels and the Guardians, maybe the only one that may be in doubt. I'm not necessarily sure we cared that much. I guess maybe for some pitching. Just taking a look over here. Yeah, probably not the biggest of. I guess you could play the Guardians today. The Bats. I guess. But yeah, so there's the weather report. We got SimLabs up, and 13 game slate. We have a lot to choose from today. Actually, on both sides, on both pitching and hitting, because it's like haves and have-nots. It's like there are teams that have high totals, and there are teams that have really low totals, right? Because we got like Toronto, 4.88. The Mets, 5.02. The Giants, 4.8. Atlanta, 5.31. We got Arizona, 5.44. The Yankees, 4.63. Some in the low fours, and then we got like really low ones. We got like at the Athletics, 3.62. The Rockies, 2.48. Boy, Miami 3.7, Tampa Bay 3.39, Washington 3.56, Pittsburgh 3.12, the Twins 3.25. We got a lot of teams that aren't expected to score many runs at all, and teams that are expected to score a whole bunch of runs. So there's going to be options on both sides of the ball. Our highest projected pitcher on the slate as of now is Nick Pivetta at 9,800 against Pittsburgh. Probably maybe one of the chalkier pitchers on the slate. I think three pitchers will be chalkier than the rest, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any pitcher gets like above 35% projected ownership on this slate because there's a lot to choose from. So we have Brian Wu, Nick Pivetta, and David Peterson. They all project from a median standpoint are around 19 fantasy points. Brian Wu, 9,500. David Peterson, 9K. Obviously, Wu against the Twins, Pivetta against the Pirates, and Peterson against the Rockies. Wu's leash is probably the lowest of the bunch, although, we've seen Brian Wu get 25 fantasy points even on like 77 pitches. So I don't know how much concerned I am about Brian Wu today. But they're all they're all projected owned between 27 and 32%. And they're the three highest optimal rate pitchers on the slate. So Brian Wu, 25% optimal rate, Pivetta, 20% optimal rate, Peterson, 19% optimal rate. And that what makes here, you can see here, Wu is a little bit overowned, Pivetta is a bit overowned, and Peterson is the most overowned as of right now compared to optimal rate. The most underowned pitcher is actually Max Fried, who's 10.3K. Is the most, I think he's the most expensive pitcher. Yeah, he's the most expensive pitcher on the slate, but he projects for like 4 points median lower than those other three pitchers. His optimal rate is 14%, and he also has the lowest strikeout prop amongst all these pitchers. So we have his projected ownership at about 5%. So at 5% owned, he's about 9% underowned. So the more that he comes up, if he was 7, 8, 9% owned, then makes it a little less advantageous to play him. But we also have like guys like Chris Bassett at 8,600 against the Athletics, Grant Holmes, 8,200 against the Red Sox, Framber Valdez, 9,200 against Tampa Bay. Even someone like Luis Ortiz, 6K against the Angels. He's like the punt play. He's only 10% chance of being optimal, but he has a 5.5 strikeout prop facing a pretty strikeout heavy team in the Angels, and he's only 6K, We have his projection at like 95 pitch count. So if that game plays, we're not sure about that yet. That's something that's a 7:10 p.m. game, so we should know whether or not that game plays pretty much. Tune into Roth later to get a radar update about that. But that's what I would see as far as pitching is concerned. Merrill Kelly against the Nationals, I guess, because they have a low implied team total. I guess you could do that. I mean, then you got guys like Zebby Matthews, Kyle Harrison, Jose Soriano. I mean, a lot of these pitchers are viable, right? And I'm not sure outside of the top three, Wu, Pivetta, and Peterson. I think pitching is going to be kind of spread out on DraftKings. But I mean, even Wu, Pivetta, and Peterson, I'm not sure get above 35% ownership. So I'm not. To me, it's not that big of a deal that Pivetta may be slightly overowned. Peterson may be slightly overowned, or Wu might be slightly overowned. I'm not rushing to well, I got to overpay for Max Fried just because he's like underowned. There's enough stacks on today's slate that you could differentiate in a ton of different places. We take a look at the top stacks tool here at RotoGrinders, and you see here, like in this yellow, like between 5% and 9% chance of being optimal. Like there's a ton of teams. There's the Giants, the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, the Braves. Then you even have, Arizona. Looks like Arizona may be a little bit overowned, but they're quite expensive. Like the Padres, quite expensive. The Giants are they're the value stack and the highest optimal rate stack. We take a look at the Giants lineup. Let's go down here to the Giants. I mean, the bottom of their order, you got Lamont Wade, Patrick Bailey. Bailey at 2,200 catcher. Very easy punt play there. And then you got, everyone's in like the 4K range. They have nearly a 5 total against the Marlins. And you can pretty much fit everyone in. I mean, Adames is down to 3,900. Chapman is 4K. Jung-Ho Lee is 4,300. They're all pretty good projections. Yastrzemski, Ramos. The thing about the Giants is that you probably have to fill most of your outfield spots with the Giants guys, unless you're going to play someone like Tyler Fitzgerald, which ain't bad. Which ain't necessarily ain't bad either. I never really mind bottom of the order hitters for road teams because you're guaranteed ninth inning at bats. So the Giants may come up a bunch on SimLabs, but let's take a look. I'm going to put in 150 lineups into SimLabs. Like large field contest today, right? I'm just going to stack 5-man because we got 13 games on the slate, a ton of teams with high implied team totals, and let's see what comes up based on our first run of SimLabs. This is something that you should be doing closer to lock. Remember, we'll have confirmed lineups, we'll have confirmed, weather, umpire updates, stuff like that. As the projections get updated on our end, our sims do get updated. Always check the timestamp for that. So we update it throughout the day, typically once an hour during the day, and then between like 5 and 7, it may get updated, every 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm trying to get here just to come up for 150. And I'm not getting anything. And maybe updating. A lot of times, SimLabs actually gets updated throughout the day. And while I'm doing a video, oh yeah, there you go, 120. Okay, there you go. It was being updated while I'm recording the video. So sometimes it stalls and you have to do it again. So let's try this. 150 lineups, low results range to make things a little bit quicker for the video, because I do this in real time. This is exactly, I mean, these videos are typically 20 minutes long, and it's only because I'm talking stuff out. But this is literally my process. 5 to 10 minutes before lock. Just run SimLabs. It depends on how many lineups I'm using. I may run and go, okay, let's see what these Max Fried lineups look like. Let's see what these Luis Ortiz lineups look like. Let me see what a giant stack lineup looks like. And then choose one of the better rated ones out of the bunch. See, here's the Giants. We go to exposures. You can see here. Starting pitchers. Yeah, we get Wu, Pivetta, Peterson. Then Bassett, Luis Ortiz, then Zebby Matthews. So although Max Fried we have as like underowned, He really doesn't come up that much. 8%. We could take a look at just these Max Fried lineups by clicking here. So here, Max Fried, Framber Valdez, and the Giants, right? And then you play, Riley, Abrams, Abreu as one-offs, which is perfectly fine, right? So Max Fried, Valdez, Fried, Keller. Not necessarily sure you should be playing Mitch Keller today, but hey, it does rate out well with the Giants. The Giants, we got a lot of Giants. So you can click on any of these names. It comes up in the search tab here. You can just type it in here in the search tab, and it'll sort by player or whatever you want to sort from. So I'm going to take that off. Let's take a look at the teams. Yeah, look, a metric crap ton of the Giants. Giants, Mets, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Yankees, Braves, a little bit, but not much Diamondbacks. Because remember what I said before in the Tap Stacks tool. Looks like the Diamondbacks are going to be over-owned today. Not much of the Dodgers. I mean, I'm probably playing. I mean, if you're going to play a stack today on a 13-game slate, I'm probably not going to be taking. Probably not taking the Royals today with the 4.13 implied team total. We got the Blue Jays. I mean, even the Guardians. Like, where's the Guardians? The Guardians don't even come up at all. I mean, they're expensive, right? The Guardians don't even come up at all. I mean, but we got the Mets. They have a 5 implied team total. The Giants, 4.8. Okay. The Red Sox only have a 4.19 implied team total. They come up a bunch. Atlanta's up there with a 5 team total. Right, all these teams. Arizona's the only one that doesn't show up as much as you would expect. The Yankees are there. The Blue Jays are there. The Blue Jays have a 4.88 implied team total. So these would be the teams that I'm targeting. But I think maybe it's quite possible the Giants actually go over-owned based on this. We get a lot we see here on the players. That a lot of playing Tyler Fitzgerald in these Giant stacks. Right? Fitzgerald, Yastrzemski, Lamont Wade. Here's Flores, Adames. Okay, here's one that without Tyler Fitzgerald. But I mean, he's 3,500. He's not like cheap, like super duper cheap. But it doesn't look like at second. I mean, we take a look at second base just in general. I mean, it's not, other than like a one-off Kettle Marte, I guess. You're not really paying. I mean, most of these lineups, you're not paying up at second base today. You have Christian Campbell. We have 2 second basemen for the Red Sox. Still 3,500. 3,100 for that. Altuve's not like 5K or anything. Semien is, who knows what's going on with Marcus Semien? Like Albies, you'd be paying up for, but like Ernie Clement, you're not. So I don't know how much opportunity cost you're really losing by playing Tyler Fitzgerald in your Giant stacks. Now we take a look at catcher. Yeah, you play less Patrick Bailey than you do Tyler Fitzgerald. Because you could always play like a Kyle Raleigh. Alejandro Kirk, I guess, is cheap. Shea Langoliers. A little bit better catchers today. But this is how I reach your stuff. How do you know that the opportunity cost at second is not that high? Well, this is how you look. Using SimLabs as a research tool. Even if you're playing one line, even if you're playing 3 lineups, 20 lineups, you could save lineups that you looked at throughout the day. Right? You could lock in certain players, right? You could say, okay, I don't want to play Brian Wu, but I want to play this guy. You can do that. Lock in players, exclude players, different stacks. So let's say I excluded San Francisco as a team stack, right? Because we got so much San Francisco, right? And then I just ran this again. I go, if San Francisco was not on the slate, like what do the top lineups look like? And just like let me run 50. I'm assuming we'll get, Mets, way more Mets, probably way more Toronto, probably Blue Jays. I think that's what it'll end up being. Getting a lot of Boston. SimLabs has liked Boston the past week. Doesn't mean it's worked out or anything, but yeah, see, Boston stack. I told you. Here's a Mets stack. These are Luis Ortiz lineups. So with the 6K pitcher. So you get to pay up for Aaron Judge. So you get Juan Soto and Pete Alonso in your Mets stack. Like, I don't mind these lineups. I mean, look at this lineup. Brian Wu, Luis Ortiz. You get the Mets stack with top players. You get a Bobby Witt one-off, Anthony Santander one-off, and a Kettle Marte one-off. Wu, Ortiz. Done. SimLabs rating 91.98. Great. There's another Mets stack. Bo Bichette, Aaron Judge, and Santander as one-offs-ish. Right? You get two-man Blue Jays. Chris Bassett in here with Framber Valdez. Like, you don't have, like, dude, if you didn't want to play Wu, Pivetta, or Peterson, I think that's fine also. They are the three top pitchers in projection on today's slate. But I don't look at those three as like, oh, sure things or anything. And any of these other pitchers, Valdez, Bassett, can put up just as many points as they can. Here's a Blue Jays stack with Ohtani as a one-off, Brent Rooker as a one-off, Junior Caminero as a one-off. I don't mind this either. Pivetta Matthews at 7,200. I mean, he's viable. Am I going out of my way to play Zebby Matthews? No, probably not. Probably won't pitch 90 pitches. But he's fine. There's another Met. Yeah, we get a lot of Mets stacks. I mean, if I go to exposures, what do we get? Yeah, Mets. Mets and then Red Sox. I don't know why. But this Red Sox lineup ain't bad, right? You play all the Red Sox and Bellinger, Judge, and Polanco. Done. I don't mind it. If I was playing 20 lineups today, I would play one of these. I'm playing 2 or 3 lineups. Probably not playing the Red Sox today. I'm probably playing the Giants, the Mets, and the Blue Jays. Probably those would be the 3. I mean, yeah, those are kind of the chalky 3. But there's enough pitching options. There's enough hitting options and one-offs. I think there's a lot of options on today's slate. I don't necessarily think, unless you think that the Giants are going to be super, ooper, duper chalk, or you think that Nick Pivetta is going to be 45-50% owned or something like that. I don't think you need to stray away from ownership that much. I think it's spread out enough that you could kind of play whoever you want. You probably kind of play whoever you want. And use SimLabs as your guide of who do you want to play, lock them in. Who do you not want to play? Lock them, exclude them, and find the highest rated lineups. At least higher rated lineups to choose from. And if you like it, go, okay, I'm going to play. Brian Wu, Matthew Liberatore. No, I don't want to play this lineup, so don't play it. This lineup right next to it rates about the same. The one right over here rates about the same. If you don't want to play Mitch Keller, just exclude Mitch Keller. And only look at the lineups that don't have him. And you can do that in SimLabs for one low price of $29.99 as part of our combo light package here at RotoGrinders. Full access to SimLabs, which has our proprietary projections, player projections, ownership projections. You can use it as much as you want for the 4 major sports: MLB, NBA, NFL, PGA. You also get access to our research tools like Plate IQ, Court IQ, Gridiron IQ, Weather Edge, all of that type of stuff. You could go down in the weeds as much as you want. And it also includes all of our premium written content. For baseball, we got expert surveys, we got consensus value rankings, and we got Cheese's Goods $1 million musings. He breaks down like every slate during the week. A lot of words, 10,000, 20,000 words every day. I don't know how he does it. You get that too. So go click on the link in the description or go to rotogrinders.com/premium for more information and join me in giving in to our AI overlords, as I say on Grinders Live. This is how I make my lineups these days. I don't use Lineup HQ anymore. SimLabs will tell me what to play. I will make educated choices. Typically, I play 2 or 3 lineups a day for the main slates in MLB. Been doing pretty well. So join me there. And if you're not going to join me, at least give me that thumb button. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to always know when we go live. Grinders Live later today, 5 p.m. Eastern. You got to tune in to Crunch Time for all the late news, the picks, and the weather update, especially in that Angels-Guardians game. because it's going to matter whether or not you can play Luis Ortiz at 6K. I'm not necessarily sure you're playing that many bats from that game, but if you want to play a good 6K pitcher, that's going to be the game to do it from. Make sure it plays, and I'll see you next week for another MLB SimLabs analysis here on RotoGrinders.com.